Good evening, YouTubers. I want to make a video on how to travel with your gold coins overseas, but more specifically, traveling with gold coins in Latin America and Central America, even traveling with gold coins to South America. In the past, when I traveled with gold coins, I flew out of Mexico City and flew into Peru, Lima, Peru. And Mexico is a pretty notorious place for confiscating gold coins, so in general, I don't recommend flying out of Mexico City with a lot of gold coins, but I have in the past. And I haven't had any troubles. Just for your information, this is March the 8th, 2021. And when I traveled in Lima, that was 2 years ago. Generally speaking, when I travel gold coins, it's overland. It's across the border from North America into Mexico, Central America. I suggest you travel with quarter-ounce gold coins. Even coins like the British sovereigns are nice. But Helvetias are like 1.1867. The Helvetias, the roosters, French roosters, coins like that, they're not as readily recognized in Latin America if you actually have to sell them. British sovereigns are a little bit more recognized. But the reason I suggest quarter-ounce coins or an eighth of an ounce gold coins is they're really small, and when you're traveling in an airport, most of the time they don't know what they are and they let you go. Now, in the past, I would have said you could travel with 50 or 100 of them, but not anymore. This is 2021, and if you travel with too much gold coins, you need to declare everything, and it's very complicated depending on what country you're coming from, declaring all your coins. And in the United States, there's some people who even say you need to declare or fill out a customs form. If you go to the customs website, you can find that form, but if you actually fill it out, usually they don't ask for it when you're on the airplane. But nevertheless, you're supposed to fill that out and have it with you when you take a large amount of gold coins out. My recommendation is to, if you're traveling with 1 ounce gold coins, only travel with a couple of them. If you're really worried about it, and you're in the United States, cross the border into Mexico and then go into Central America and fly out of Central America to Europe if that's where you're going, or Asia. Flying out of a U.S. airport with a large amount of gold coins isn't recommended, suggested, but that's what I would do. If I was traveling with more quarter-ounce U.S. gold, and if your ultimate destination is Latin America, then my top 3 coins for Latin America for liquidity reasons, if you actually have to sell them in Latin America or Central America or South America, is the Canadian Maple Leaf, the South African Krugerrand, and the American Gold Eagle. Not necessarily in those orders, but all 3 of those coins are very heavily recognizable. If you need to sell them, the best place to sell is not usually coin shops, but the jewelry stores. The jewelry stores will give you the highest price for your gold coins. You have to shop around. Not everywhere will, but there's enough jewelry stores that you can sell off a quarter or half an ounce. That's why I suggest quarter or half ounce coins, a smaller denomination as opposed to a 1 ounce gold coin. In the past, when gold was $300 or $400 an ounce, they could pay you and it wasn't a big deal. But now, with gold hovering around $1,690, I think today, $1,700 last week, and in the past it's been as high as $2,075. If gold goes back in a bull market, which I think it probably will, gold will be over $2,500 or $3,500 an ounce, and having a full ounce of gold and expecting to sell it and getting cash easy in the developing world isn't easy. You have to go down there and negotiate the price and probably have to come back to get all cash because they'll have to go to the bank to get the cash. Now, sometimes when you're negotiating all this, you can get paid in dollars. Some countries have a large amount of dollars, many countries don't. Some countries you can get local currency and then convert very easily into dollars, like Mexico or the Philippines. Guatemala is another really easy place to take local currency. You can go into any bank and get dollars pretty easy. You just have to show your passport or local ID. And that's why I suggest smaller coins like a quarter ounce or a 1/10 ounce or a half ounce. But if you have a whole bunch of quarter ounce, you can just sell a small amount. If you're in an emergency situation, you can go down to a jewelry store. Just take one with you. Don't take your whole hoard with you. See what it is, and then decide if you want to sell more than one or not. And then if you just have a quarter ounce and gold's let's say $2,000 an ounce. That's $500. So, if you're living really frugally, you can get by on them. Well, not quite, but some of us can get by on 500. Others, you might need a half ounce. Again, I'd only do this if you're in an emergency situation. But if you're coming down to Latin America for good, then I would get Krugerrands in small denominations, quarter ounce, some 10th ounce and stuff if I could get them, and I would come down with quarter ounce Gold Eagles and quarter ounce Canadian Maple Leaf coins. Now again, if you want the bigger denomination, that's okay, but it's just harder to sell them because the value is so high right now, and I think the value of gold's going to go up in the future. So again, that's why I suggest quarter ounce. But with the smaller denomination coins, you have to pay a higher premium, so you have to balance that out. You really have to balance that out. But how to travel, if you're coming from the United States and it's a large amount and you don't want to leave your gold there, you don't want to sell it and transfer it into Bitcoin or sell it and wire the money, then cross the border into Mexico. You could fly to Mexico, but the last time someone flew to Mexico with a large amount of gold and got caught with it, he had a hell of a time getting his money back and his gold coins back. If you read the article, he spent $80,000 or $100,000 on legal fees just to get his gold back. That's why I would suggest you come across the border, then fly out of Central America to like Europe or Asia if that's where you're going, and try to fly in through more developing world countries where they don't care how much gold you have and they don't really search your bags that much. And their x-ray machines aren't all that effective. That's another reason. Or skip first world countries altogether. But if you're just coming to Latin America, like Central America, South America, you can just travel overland, bring as much as you want in your backpack or your briefcase. That's how I do it. Put a couple rolls in your briefcase or your backpack. There's other ways you can disguise your gold too. I won't go into that, but there's other ways you can disguise your gold. But for the most part, they don't really look that hard. And if you disguise it really well, they won't find it. Not to mention, time is a factor. When you come across the border, they don't have a lot of time to go through your stuff to find everything, especially when you're going through the airports. But again, if you're coming from a first world country, they'll take all the time in the world and you can miss your flight. So that's why I wouldn't bring too much gold. I wouldn't wrap it up or try to hide it too much because they'll find it. And in the past, I've just explained what it was and they let me through. But again, that was many years ago. Things have tightened up quite a bit. If you're really worried about it, you have to travel across the land border, come down through Mexico, and then fly out of Guatemala or El Salvador or Panama. Those would be the three main airports you can fly out if you need to go further than that. Anyways, that's how I suggest you travel with gold coins in 2021. And then if you're American and if you're doing everything by the book, you'll need to fill out that customs form online and print it out and have it with you on the airplane. That's if your gold is worth more than $2,500. Now, there's a lot of contradictory advice online, so you'll see that. But according to the custom form, it says if your gold's worth more than $2,500, you have to report it, and then report it online, and then get a copy of that or a printout of that, and then take it on the airplane. The people who've done that I know of no one asked for it. That's the kind of the problem. People don't know how to deal with people with gold coins, so that's my best advice I can give you is to do all the research if you come from the U.S. Realize it's kind of risky because more and more now they're cracking down on people leaving the United States and taking too much of their wealth out and not declaring it. You're supposed to be able to take up to $10,000 in cash out without reporting anything, but some people have brought out as little as $3,000 and had it confiscated. That's a problem. That's illegal. They're not supposed to do that, but they've done it anyways. That's why I bring that up. So there's no easy answers for you. In general, if you had a large amount, I would sell it. When I got to my destination country, I would just wire it there. If I was unwilling to do that, then I would, and I didn't want to sell the gold, and pay tax or capital gains, then I would run across the border, overland in Mexico, and then get a bus to the capital of Mexico, and then a bus to the border, then fly out of the capital of say, Guatemala, El Salvador, or Panama. Those are the three main airports you're going to fly out of in Central America to go to Europe or Asia or even South America. And again, I would stress bringing small denomination coins like quarter ounce or 10th ounce, half ounce. You can bring full ounces. But if you ever have to sell a little bit to pay for an emergency, it's hard to get someone with that much cash on hand. They'll have to go to the bank. You have to come back another day. So that can be a pain in the neck. Anyways, like, share, leave a comment. Tell me what you think.